Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione for my second attempt at online racing. If you watched my first video a week or two ago, you'll know that I finished that race at Donington Park feeling a little bit deflated and very much out of my depth. But I wanted to give it a second try, and rather than jumping right back into the high standard of racing in the SimGrid, I decided just to check out the in-game multiplayer section and join the first lobby that was available. So we're going to have an 18-minute race around the Nurburgring, and as you can see I've just qualified 12th on the grid, which I'm pretty happy with. Still around 5 seconds off the pace of the leaders, but it looks like there's a broader range of abilities in this lobby, so hopefully I can be a bit more competitive. Let's get over to the grid and see how we get on. Oh, well, we're going nowhere at the moment. Of course, manual start. I changed the settings the other day to give me a bit more realism, and in the heat of the moment there I completely forgot. I thought I just had to give it a pump of the accelerator and we'd be away. So that might be my worst rookie mistake yet, so I think we're going to start from the back of the grid after all, after managing to put it on 12th. But okay, well that at least will keep us out of the carnage in turn 1, hopefully. So let's see how we do as the lights go green.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Yeah, this turn 1 at the Nürburgring is always tight on the first lap, so I'm just going to take it very, very easy. And we've got through there safely. That's really good news. Just want to try and stick with these guys now. I should have the pace to run with them as we lose someone on the inside, running wide. Is he going to rejoin in front of me? Yes, he is. I'll just hold back, give him a little bit of space in case he lost it. He's okay, though. Or he might have lost it now, and he almost takes me with him. We've got a bit lucky there, but we've survived. Just had a quick glance at the leaderboard there to see how we fared coming out of those first few turns, but I don't think it's updated yet. We're certainly not in first place, that's for sure. But I do think we made up at least a couple of positions there, so it'll be interesting to see where we're lying. Well, the leaderboard seems to have gained its composure now, and it's suggesting that we're 16th, so I'm happy with that. Going to approach this race exactly the same way as I did at Donington Park last week. Not going to take any risks, not going to push it. If someone wants to get by, I'm not going to make it too hard for them. Just want to stay safe, particularly on these first few laps when I'm getting to grips with the car and the track. I know the track fairly well. I've done a lot of laps on Race Room, including an hour endurance race. But obviously when you switch between sims, there's always a few differences. Oh, and it looks like we've lost someone else on the grass. Is he going to rejoin in front of me as well? Or we might just have nipped around him. Yeah, we have. So we've gained a position there. I was a little bit worried about him re-entering onto that chicane. That would have caused mayhem, but we got away with that one as well. So that puts us up to 15th as we cross the line to end lap 1. Right, let's go back and look at a replay of the start. And you can see me there bringing up the rear after my momentary lapse of common sense at the rolling start, but we're going to focus on the number 2 car because it was him who lost control in front of me and almost collected me as well. So just going into the first turn, and yeah, he runs a little bit wide there, but I think that was just a case of trying to give the other cars as much room as possible. And then I thought he might have got some contact here which sent him onto the infield, but he didn't. Instead, he clipped the curb and just got a couple of wheels onto the grass which sent him out. And he tried to rejoin in front of me. I gave him a little bit of space and I thought we were back to normal, but probably dirty tyres and a lack of grip, and he almost cuts my nose off. And then at the end of the lap we gained another position when the number 762 just clipped the car in front of him, and that was enough to get him all out of shape on the approach to the chicane. And luckily he just managed to stop it before re-entering the track, because that could have got messy. I think we must have gained another position going past pit lane, because we are up to 14th now. And I feel like I've got the pace to get around this Bentley in front. Unless, of course, he is just taking it extra cautiously with colder tyres. But yeah, certainly feel like I've got the pace to make a bit of a challenge for 13th here. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm just going to sit in behind him for now.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out.
The Honda behind looks like he might have a little bit more pace than me, so I suspect, yes, he might go for a move up the inside, and he does. Much later on the brakes than I am, so I'll let him have that one. I know really I should be taking that corner in second gear, but there's a few corners where I'm just feeling a little bit more comfortable to shift it down into first. The car just feels a bit more stable. And the Honda's having a look up the inside of the Bentley as well. He's made that pass stick as well. The Bentley's run a bit wide. Don't collect me. Oh, and the Honda's gone off as well, so we've gained 2 positions back straight away. Yeah, Hoshi in the Honda was just pushing a little bit too hard there as we watched the replay of him passing me up the inside. I gave him all the space he needed and much more there. But then a couple of corners later, as he gassed it up the inside of the Bentley, I think they both ran a little bit wide. The Bentley certainly did. But yeah, Hoshi just gets on the gas a bit too early. The rear steps out. Oh, and it sends him into the wall. That's going to do some damage. So we're sitting 12th now. We're actually back to the grid position that we were meant to start in before I messed up that formation lap. And looking at the red plates on the leaderboard, that shows the amateur drivers in this race. It looks like we're the best of the 3 amateurs at the moment, so that's really encouraging too.
There's a slow car ahead.
And we've got a Porsche in our sights. What is he, 2.5 seconds ahead? And oh, we've got another car that's run wide. Have we got enough pace to get around him? Yes, we have. So now we're up to 11th. And if we can close the gap on this Porsche, we'll be battling for the top 10. Okay, let's go back and see what happened to Franco in the Ferrari, and it's this fast chicane. He just takes a little bit too much of the curb on the inside and it unsettles the car and throws him off. I know exactly what it's like to crash there. I had exactly the same accident in the endurance in race room the other week. That gap to the Porsche in front is down to about 2 seconds now, and it looks like I'm going to lap in the 159s for the first time this race, so we're beginning to improve the pace just a little bit. Now can we catch up with Harthy in the Porsche? Oh, we definitely will now because he's run really wide at turn 1. Are we going to be able to get around him? Not quite, but we're right on his tail. And that mistake might rattle him, particularly now he can see in his rear view mirror that I'm right behind him. So let's push and see if we can exert some pressure. We're now definitely in a top 10 battle, so it would be great if we could do that. But first we've got to stick with Harthy. And to do that we've got to not make any mistakes, so we've got to stay smooth. Again, I know I'd be faster if I took that corner in second, but I just feel safer for now while I'm learning my way around, just to drop it down into first. And again, as Harthy runs a little bit wide, but he pulls it back and just about makes the apex, so we're sticking with him here. That's the most encouraging thing. Even if I haven't got the pace to make a pass myself, he might make another mistake and we can jump on it that way. But let's see how we go. Is he going to run a bit wide? He is, but not wide enough to leave me a gap. Oh, he ran a little bit wide on exit as well. That might cost him some speed. Can we get alongside him? I don't think we're close enough. We've got a bit more pace. I will have a little look on the inside, but I don't really want to pass up here, so I'll just tuck back in behind him again. But yeah, just by having a little look, we're letting him know that we're interested in finding our way around. So it'll just give him something else to think about as we cross the line to start another lap. Is he going to run wide again into turn 1? That's the question. No, he's not. He finds the apex perfectly this time. So do we, and we're sticking with him. Oh, he's run a little bit wide again. We can have a look on the inside. Have we got enough to hold it again? Not quite. Not quite. And we're on the outside for the next turns. That's not going to do us any favours. I might try a cut back up the inside. No, we're definitely not close enough for that. So, yeah, that was the closest we've come. That was a real look.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
Oh, and he misses the apex again and runs really wide this time. But again, I'm still not close enough that I can nip by. But all this has given me real encouragement. He's run wide on several corners now, and I just know that if he keeps doing it, sooner or later I'm going to find a way through. I might be able to up the inside here. No, he closes the line off, and I just have to ease off the throttle slightly. That might cost me some exit speed, and we'll lose a tenth or two there. So first things first, we've got to get that time back as quickly as possible. Maybe brake a little bit later coming into this left-hander, and that should get us back on his tail. Yeah, it has done. He's not run wide this time though, but we are back with him. Oh, and he clips the inside curb and he's got all out of shape. That might be the mistake we need. We've got the power, and yeah, we've got around him. Just hold the inside line. Oh, clout the curb on the inside. That wasn't pretty, but it's got the job done now. Let's just hold the line into this chicane. We don't want to lose the position straight away. Oh, it wasn't the tidiest entry into the chicane, but it's got the job done. We are now, I was going to say we're now up to 10th position. We're actually up to 9th. So we've gained another position somewhere. I guess someone's quit. Yeah, that was a really fun battle with Harthy there. Let's go back and look at the replay of some of the best bits. This was when I had the first look up the inside, but I knew that that wasn't really going to come off because I had the outside line for the next turn. I did try and cut back on the inside, but yeah, that didn't work. So we regrouped, and then later in the lap, I got back on his tail, waiting for that mistake, and it came when he clipped the inside curb here. Look how it unsettles that Porsche, and Harthy's wrestling with it to try and regain control and get the gas down, but he lost enough pace for me to power past him into 9th place. Another fastest lap for me there, 1:59.5, happy with that. I know it's still 4 or 5 seconds slower than what the front guys are lapping, but for a newbie, just running a base setup, I'll take that. To be lapping consistently in the 1:59s, more than happy with it. I don't think we're going to be gaining any more than 9th place, because looking at the car in 8th, he's 15 seconds down the road, and instead I've got company behind. And it looks like another one of the rookies has caught me up here, and he's going to be looking to make a move, I'm sure. Oh, and here it comes up the inside, is it? No, he thinks better of it. I've left half a gap, and he was a bit hesitant about taking it, but he's right on my tail now, so I know that I'm going to have him incoming again. Just try and get as fast an exit out of here as I can to gain a 10th or 2. And he's got Franco in the Ferrari with him too. Franco was the driver that we passed a couple of laps ago, who spun out of the section of the track we've just come through. But yeah, these guys are right behind me. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold on to this position. I know I said that I wasn't going to make it too hard for drivers who wanted to get around me, but I am growing in confidence now. Oh, as Franco runs wide, he's gone into the gravel. So we've lost Franco again. Yeah, going back to what I was saying, I did say that I wasn't going to make it too hard for drivers who wanted to get around me, but I am feeling more confident now, and I really want to hold on to this top 10 finish, so I am going to try and battle, but hopefully do it safely. As the Porsche is having a look up the inside, and I've just run it a little bit too hot in there, I think. Yeah, missed it completely. So we have given the Porsche 9th position, but it's okay. We're still in 10th. The top 10 is what I'm aiming for now. So, of course, I'm going to try and stick with this guy. Stay on his tail. But only a second and a half behind is Zoldak in 11th. So that might have to be my primary focus now if I want to keep this top 10 finish. Oh, a bit untidy, clipping the curb there. Starting to get a bit ragged now. Yeah, 1.2 seconds back to Zoldak, and Franco's with him as well. So Franco's obviously recovered from his journey into the dirt at that final chicane. That gap's within a second now, 0.8 seconds. Oh, and Franco's got around Zoldak by the looks of it, so those two are battling. That might play into my favour a little bit. They might slow each other down and I can get away. Oh, but the rear's coming around and I've got all out of shape there, so I'm not going to get away with mistakes like that. And that's brought Franco right onto me. And he's going to have a look around the outside. I'm going to try and hold the inside line and make this corner tightly. I don't want to drift into him. I've done it. Now he's switched. He's going to the outside. I don't feel comfortable on the inside, but I've got no choice here coming into this chicane. And I get a bit out of shape again. Oh, onto the grass. This is really untidy. And Zoldak's going to get around me too as I try and brake a bit hard. Oh no, I've clipped Zoldak's rear and spun him out. Oh man. Oh dude, I'm sorry. I'm not going anywhere until you get back on. You can have at least one position back off me. That's the least I can do after causing him to spin. Oh man, that was disappointing. I just got in a complete mess over those final few corners there, and it proved costly. So going back a lap, this was the first pass. Suhada in the Porsche, who took advantage of me just braking a bit too late into T1. Put it up the inside and took over leadership of the battle of the three rookies. But then my attention turned to what was going on behind me, and I had Franco get right behind me when I almost lost the rear, drifting into that turn. Really out of shape, and then it didn't get much better from there. Yeah, I had Franco right behind me. He takes a look around the outside, gets alongside me. I just about managed to hold that inside line, and then he switched to go onto the racing line, and I had no choice but to stay on the inside. I didn't feel comfortable there, and then watch this. In my panic, I almost turned into the wrong chicane, and that sent me onto the grass. I got all out of shape. Zoldak nips by, and then just as I'm trying to get on the brakes and hold that inside line, I just clip Zoldak and spin him out. And then, yeah, the least I could do was let him rejoin ahead of me. Last lap then, and yeah, it looks like 12th at best for me now. I'm just struggling to keep with Zoldak. He's opened that gap up to about 2 seconds now. So unless he makes a mistake, I don't think I'm going to bridge that one. And instead, I might have some company behind. Luton looks like he wants this 12th position, and I don't know where he's come from, so he's obviously got some incredible pace. I will do my best to defend, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. He's going to have a look up the inside as I run a bit wide, so that's left the door open for him. I will have the inside on this turn, though. He's staying right alongside me. We're side by side, exiting the corner. Is he going to have the drive? I think he is. I'm going to have the inside line here, but I don't think I've got the pace to make it count. Also drifting a little bit deep there. I'm glad I didn't clip his rear. But yeah, misjudging that apex has not only led him by, it's also given him 0.7 of advantage. So I think now the best we can hope for is 13th. So it was nice to be involved in a top 10 battle for a while, but ultimately it wasn't to be. The leaderboard is saying I'm back in 12th, but I suspect that's because drivers who've already finished are exiting the game. It's a little bit frustrating when this leaderboard does that. It seems to remove drivers from the leaderboard as soon as they exit. Yeah, and I'm up to 11th now, so I'm not going to pay any attention to that. As far as I'm aware, I'm going to cross the line in 13th. Unless there's any mistake from Luton in front of me on the final turn. I highly doubt that. No, he's navigated his way around fine. So, yeah. Second online race in Assetto Corsa Competizione done. And I've taken 13th.
Great job, mate. You did your best to bring it back to the pits.
So what's the verdict after returning to ACC for a second race? Well, I have to say I enjoyed that one a lot more, and that's probably down to the fact that I was a little bit more competitive, able to battle rather than just stressing the whole time about getting out of the way of some incredibly fast drivers lapping me, which was basically what the first race at Donington Park last week was all about. I came out of that one feeling so out of my depth, it was unreal, but I feel a lot happier today. I really enjoyed this one, so I'm glad I jumped back in for a second try, and although I finished down in 13th in the end there, I was battling for a top 10 position for a lot of the race, and just looking at some of the guys that I was racing with there, Franco in particular ended up 9th, so I'm not that far off. And ACC's in-game public lobbies seem to get a bit of a bad rep online from when I've researched them, but I have to say that was a really clean and fair race, some good battles going on, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. So I will definitely be back for some more online racing in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Cheers, guys.